SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Mississippi.
Everything gonna be all right this morning.
Mornings with Richard Cross.
Oh, yeah.
Here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Now, when I was a young boy, at the age of 5, my mother said I was gonna be the greatest man alive.
Good morning to you. How you doing on a Friday morning? Dave Hughes here in the chair for mornings, as I am on Fridays, and Lance, of course, over in the booth, as he is on the Fridays that I'm here. How you doing?
Man, I am doing great. It is a playoff weekend. We're within the week to Christmas. We have summer weather, and it is hunting season. So I mean, you got everything going for you. I hope everybody's caught up on the Christmas shopping and getting the house ready and all that, because we're almost there. And it'll be behind us before you know it.
Yeah, it's. I have noticed it doesn't seem like the stores are quite as busy as they've been some other years.
Uh-oh.
We'll wait and see what the report is when the season is over, but that's a little concerning.
Yeah, I haven't. I went yesterday after I got off work and had a few things to do over at the Renaissance, and I didn't. I mean, the parking lot was full, but the stores they were. I don't know how you put it, not long lines, easy to get in and out, didn't have some of the issues. Maybe people are just shopping more online this year. I don't know.
I think that's probably a big part of it, because you've got to remember my perspective, and I'm sure yours too, comes from waiting in a Walmart parking lot at 3:30 in the morning to fight 8,000 other people for a Furby.
I went over to Bass Pro the other day, too, and it was, again, the crowd was a nice crowd, but it wasn't one where you had to sit in line for, an hour or 30 minutes. I've been over there before where even when they have a lot of the lines open, it still takes a bit because there's a ton of people in there. So I'm hoping that it's a good retail season. Maybe online, though, is where we're seeing some of that. But I can tell you one thing, that the traffic is there.
You tell me about it.
I don't know where they're going, but it's trafficy.
I don't know where they're going or where they're coming from, but gee whiz. I actually had that thought yesterday. I was thinking to myself, January's going to be nice because after the first, everybody's broke, everybody's tired, and it's like you and 3 other people on the road.
Yeah. Well, this morning was very trafficy. I guess people are trying to get in that get in early. It's Friday. I'm going to get out of here. I got all next week off potentially. But the last couple of days, I was seeing a lot of red taillights. And I was like, man, where are all these people? Because, I'm one of the people on the road kind of early. You kind of feel like you have this right to not hit red lights and not get behind somebody doing 35. Or in many cases, it seems that Rankin County must be a very popular place for the law enforcement of around Jackson to live, because I see a car for everywhere. And I'm telling you, man, they have to know me by now. Because I'll be the one going exactly the speed limit right beside them. But yeah, it's been a little bit more active, I think, in the on the roads early, and hopefully that's people getting work out of the way.
You bring up something interesting question for you. Do you drive with your hands at 10 and 2 all the time, or just when you're right next to a police officer?
Yeah, I follow the rules exactly. When I'm always driving, always 10 and 2, never look at my phone, always eyes straight ahead, never speed. I do I'm a law abater, right? Roll
the window down, turn the blinker on, and give the hand signals.
I stick the arm out, right? Every left turn. When I do the right turn, I do the 90-degree one. So they know you're taking a right. So, yeah, I'm a law abater. Yeah.
You want to confuse the younger generation, by the way? Next time you got one in the vehicle with you, use the hand signals.
What are you doing?
You're going to get run into from behind because nobody else knows them anymore either. But it'll be a fun conversation starter while they're filling out the paperwork.
It is. You think about those things a little bit, and when you go back. I guess when I was a kid, that you would see people still doing that a lot because not everybody had tail lights or what. And if it was out, or if you had a trailer light that was out, somebody would hang the arm out and let you know. You don't see that anymore. It's just,
no.
But those old days, especially, getting out in the county a little bit sometimes in the farming areas, you get behind a tractor, and still do in the Delta, and they use the arm signals. They'll let you know. They're still conscientious of that.
Yeah, it's a bygone era, which we have a lot of that right now, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. The world of it's funny. It seems like, and again, this is just an observation. I don't know if it's true or not, but I can leave at the same time and hit the same green lights and do the same speed and everything, and I might be 4 minutes late versus running on time. It feels like time is just off. I don't know. I mean, I have some sixth sense says that time is just going faster. I don't know. I move as quick as I can, and I'll still be running late sometimes. And I'm like, I left at the same time. How did I do that?
I wonder if that's a corollary to the old aphorism that, the older you get, the faster time moves.
Oh, yeah. It has to, because I'm telling you, I can have the pedal down in my routine in the morning, leave at the same time, everything, speed limit, and same route every day. I'm a creature of habit, and I'll be 5 minutes late. And you're like, how did that actually happen? I don't know. But I think time's weird right now, and maybe I'm just getting old.
It's not just time. I think the entire universe has slipped a cam somewhere in the system. Because I know planet Earth is just bonkers and has been for a while now.
It seems to be. We're never short on content for any day of the week, especially Friday, because it's built up all week, and you can't cover everything that actually happens. I know I send Richard a lot, and I'll hit you up on a Thursday a lot of times and send some articles and things. But, I mean, the cycle, it just doesn't seem to break. It just continues and continues. And maybe that has something to do with the perception of time. Is with so much information out there, maybe time is perceived to be moving so much quicker because you have so much more stuff to do.
Well, the difference to me is, and this probably says a lot about us in a society in general right now. Let's say I walk up and I pat you on the back. And I do it once every 30 minutes. If instead I'm doing it once per second, and that goes on all day, whichever method you're using, time does not pass faster when you're getting continuously pummeled. So it's a little bit of a paradox there, I think.
Wore out, maybe. Right.
Yes. Frustrated, angry, upset. Going to write a strongly worded letter to someone, that's where you wind up.
I love it when you say these days, like somebody. I remember I was waiting for a package a couple weeks ago, and I finally just almost gave up. I mean, I watched it hit like 14 different locations in China, and it almost became like a game to watch it and see like how many places it would actually go before it actually left the country. And when it got to America, it was in Chicago for like 4 days, and it went to like 4 or 5 distribution places, and eventually 2 weeks later it got here. But it was looking at that going, wow, I mean, what does the world come to where it takes 20 stops, 7 here in the United States to get a package from Chicago to Mississippi, and then not including I get tired of counting the number of places it went in China. I'm like, man, how do people make money unless this item is absolutely junk? And the item I ended up getting was absolute junk. So,
no, there you go. Yeah, there's your problem.
Yeah, so I knew after 10 days, I'm like, man, I kept watching that going, this is going to be the biggest piece of junk I've ever bought if this is what it takes to get here, because that's hundreds of dollars of transport, it looked like. And I paid for like $50 for something. Yeah,
well, my favorite tracking a package story, I had one time that left, I think it was coming from Kansas, if I remember correctly, went to Chicago on the tracking, left Chicago, went to Florida, left Florida, went to Mobile, Alabama, left there, went to Memphis, went back to Chicago, then came to New Orleans, and then came to me here in Southwest Mississippi. And I'm like, what are you people doing?
That's like when you have you see a traveler and they have a trunk or something and they've got all the stickers.
all the decals,
Funny, like you get your package and it actually had a sticker from every place that it went. That would put it into perspective a little bit, I think. But you're right. I love tracking this stuff because anything, it seems to take way more effort than may be necessary to get it to where it needs to go. Don't know if that's going to be an issue in the future, but as you watch stuff, it seems to be a lot of pent-up, dead time in a lot of this stuff and a lot of cost maybe.
But enough about Congress. Let's get back to shipping.
Let's solve some shipping problems.
You're literally describing the problem we have in Washington.
Yeah, well, that's a
lot
great
of activity,
point.
Not much happening.
Well, and you got a ton of, with the Susie Wiles Vanity Fair article, the speculation that, there's some undercurrent going on with the administration as we've seen in the first, and they've held it together pretty well. But you're right. I mean, there's just constant stuff going, and now even more. Right, we have Christmas presents unwrapped. It'll be news.
I hope they remember to put the receipts in the boxes for these because we may want to return them before it's over with.
Definitely.
By the way, happy Epstein Files Day.
Yay.
To those who celebrate. Oh, we're going to get into that later. Don't worry, because this is another great example of a lot of activity, and where's the package? We'll talk about that probably next hour. Right now, we're trying to ease into the day because, to be perfectly honest, the caffeine hasn't fully kicked in.
From the
Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome back. SuperTalk Mississippi mornings. Presented as always by the folks at Community Bank. At Community Bank, they're there for you for every part of your financial journey. If you're looking to manage your personal finances, their banking services make it simple, secure, and tailored to you. If you're ready to grow your business, they offer expert guidance and custom solutions to help your business thrive. Say you're dreaming of a new home, or mortgage specialist there to make the process seamless for you, all designed with you in mind. They're more than just a bank. They're your partner for life's biggest moments. Community Bank, rooted in our community, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. What's your estimate? How many people are in Oxford right now?
As many as can fit. I would imagine. A few, I would bet. Extras. Well, the weather's going to be nice today, as people, I'm sure, have started coming into town over the last couple of days and getting the condos ready and all that. It'll be a nice day today, about 47 north winds out of the northwest, probably 5 miles an hour. Be kind of light and calm in the afternoon, nice little walking around town. Tonight's going to be a little cold, though, so bundle up if you're out on the square. 33 degrees, a little light wind after midnight. And I know there'll be a lot of people out after midnight, so make sure you bundle up. But tomorrow, wow, sunny, high near 62 degrees. Have a little breeze out of the south, 5 to 15 miles an hour. So that'll be a really nice part of the day for the game to be going on during the midday there. Well, we got 2:30 kickoff, the dentist's favorite time, right? Tooth hurty. And,
That's bad even by my standards.
That's a dad joke, man. I know it. And then the evening, it'll be a 20% chance of showers. So as the day progresses, may get a little rain. I don't, who knows on that. 20% is not a lot. But the temperature will start dropping a little into the 40s for Saturday night. So Sunday, much similar to Saturday. Later in the day, you have about a 20% chance of showers as the day goes on, and be around 40 for Sunday night. So if you're spending the weekend in Oxford, it'll be a beautiful weekend. It looks like a little cool at times, maybe a little rain Saturday or Sunday night, but nothing too heavy it looks like there. So should be a fun time. And pretty much the same around the state. I mean, you're not going to have a ton of change in that. Sunday night around the Delta, 30% chance of showers. Let's see here. On the coast, 30% chance of showers on Sunday. It'll be a little warmer, though, around 67. And let's see here. We got up in the northeast corner of the state, which is usually a little bit different. Not really, though, this weekend. Again, Saturday night, about a 20% chance of showers. Not much to mention on Sunday, but again, Monday with a 20% chance. So the temperatures will be in the 40s in the northeast corner of the state. Tonight will be in the 30s, and then tomorrow around 60. So pretty much copy and paste weather all over the state. And should be a great weekend for some football. I don't know. Are you going to be tuning into any of this stuff this week?
Quite possibly, yes.
Quite possibly.
I'm not going up there because they don't have any room for my vehicle.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much room left in Oxford for vehicles or people, but if there is, they will find a way, brother. I can assure you of that.
Well, here is a little inside baseball on the radio business. You know, SportsTalk was up there yesterday in Oxford, broadcasting from there, doing it again today. And you may think that the primary driver of that decision by the guys on SportsTalk was, you know, to get there a day early, to really enjoy the experience, to talk to people, to get the hype going. No, they wanted to get parking.
Yeah. Parking is a premium. I used to bartend up there, and I'd have to walk from the square and go into the Grove, which is about a mile. It wasn't that bad. And do a spot on the radio early in the morning and then hustle back to bartending. And that was the easiest because trying to park, I'd done it many times. You're like, all right, I'm going to ride over there and pull in this lot. And you get there and it's like $40. Like, hey, I only got to be here for 30 minutes. And a lot of times they would give me an opportunity to just park for a second and leave. But I learned quickly, just sprint. Just run. Yeah. I can get there a lot quicker.
Skateboard. Yeah. Skateboard is a great idea.
Man, I always kind of kicked myself not having a bike.
Yeah.
I had one, but I never had it where I needed it. You know, it'd be around the house. It was never at the where I worked, where you could just say, "Oh yeah, hop on the bike and take off." But what a great tool to have in Oxford is a bicycle.
I would guess on the weekend leading into Christmas week, first time college football playoff game for the state of Mississippi anywhere. If I had to guess, if you could do a head count of everybody in Oxford this weekend, not just at the game, just in general, just to be there, to say they were there, going for the good time. I think Oxford is going to see a bigger crowd this weekend than they have ever seen for anything.
I would bet. I was there when Alabama was in town many years ago, and I think that was likely the biggest crowd I'd ever seen on campus. And it was, before this current era of growth and NIL and all of this. But that was a big game. It was probably 15 years ago, I would say. And I can't remember the estimates of people in town, but you couldn't go anywhere. I mean, it was no way to move. It was just, all right, this is what we've got. This is going to be one heck of an experience. And it was one of those that you just had a blast. But I can only imagine how much bigger it's going to be than that. And I don't know. I love a big crowd, but I'm one of those. I don't know if I think I'm going to enjoy watching the game rather than being in the middle of it.
The older that I get, the more appealing sitting in my recliner watching something on TV becomes.
I agree. And I feel like I still get out pretty good, but going 3 hours to go watch a game feels like it's just so much effort. I feel that way sometimes going to deer camp. It's like takes an hour and a half to get there. I got basically Sunday off, and then by the time I get woke up on Sunday, it's time to turn around and leave. So I'm like you.
Yeah.
At times I just have a tendency to plop down in the recliner or in the chair on the back porch and just turn on the TV and enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to be a big weekend. There's going to be, and you know this from having lived there, there's going to be a lot of people complaining because there's so many folks in town.
It'll be over soon, folks.
Well, let me tell you something. The economic impact to the city of Oxford from just this weekend is going to be absolutely massive. So complaining that there are too many people in your town spending money to keep your roads up and fund your schools, that very much is in the same category in my mind to complaining that your lobster is too buttery and your steak is too juicy.
It's a really fun place to be.
It's a hard life.
Oh, it's a really fun place to be when you have all this. And you got to kind of keep the right perspective. It'll be real busy, be crowded. It's Christmas season. Everything's going to be a little bit more ratcheted up than crazy than normal.
Add this on top of the last weekend of Christmas shopping.
Exactly. And all the restaurants, too, will benefit so much. The hotels, the Airbnbs, the folks that have those types of properties that get this extra weekend to really kind of count some cash. It's always a good thing. I worked as a bartender up there for a while, and in one extra weekend like this, it's hard to put into perspective what it would mean for one entity. But for one person, one bartender, one waiter, it's huge. I mean, the amount of money that you put in your pocket on a weekend like this, and it starts at Wednesday, and it'll end on Sunday. So it's a huge economic impact, not only for the businesses, but for those folks that work in these shops and all the folks that serve you. And so I'm very happy for that, because there'll be extra thousands in their pocket this weekend.
Yes.
Thousands.
Yes.
And that's always a good feeling.
It's going to be a great weekend. And I haven't had anyone complain to me about it or gripe in advance about it. But you just know there are going to be some people, because there always are, saying that. I think most people realize it's a necessary evil. It's part of the game.
Yeah,
it's part of the way it works.
The shuttles will be crowded. The rickshaw things, they'll be crowded. Everything will be crowded. Just take your time. It'll be one of those big event weekends. Just keep it into perspective. Keep your lid cool, and have a lot of fun, because this is I don't know how often this is going to happen in Oxford, but it ain't never happened before. So
yeah,
it's the first time for everything.
You have to think that Tulane is looking at this and going, I knew they would have home field advantage, but come on. This is going to be ridiculous.
Well, you put 5 touchdowns in between you the last time, and it's a 17.5-point spread this go around. The spread makers are giving Tulane a lot of credit, and some of that has to do with the way Ole Miss finished with Lane Kiffin leaving and the unknowns. But I think Ole Miss is going to be ready to play, and I think a lot of these kids are, whether they're going to hit the transfer portal or not after the fact, are really looking forward to this opportunity.
Yeah, I think especially tomorrow, it's all about the game. All the rest of it is just going to kind of go by the wayside.
So, the game's going to be played, and whatever happens after that's going to happen.
Yeah, then we'll deal with that. For now, it's game time, and they're going to focus. That's what I expect, and I expect them to cover the spread. I've never once said I wasn't a homer. So I'm all for the Rebels.
Yeah, you got to be, huh? I mean,
Go
home team. Go with the home team.
Poor Tulane. I apologize for what's going to happen, except I'm not sorry at all, so I won't.
Amen.
We will continue on. I'm just being a jerk today, aren't I? We're going to continue on this Friday morning, on mornings here on SuperTalk Mississippi after this. Keep it here.
From the Seabrook.
Find out what's happening across your state. Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back.
I love some kudzu kings, man. Come on.
Whooping out the banjo on a Friday morning. Welcome to mornings.
Well, I had to with Oxford, having such a big weekend. One of the famous bands from my era. There was a few, but Kudzu Kings and Beanland were the two that I'm sure anyone who's 46 to 60 has an awful lot of affinity for. I do, so I play that as often as I can. And a little shout out to the Kudzu Kings who are still playing.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man. And I think all the members of Beanland are still playing, not together, but they'll get together every now and again. But you're talking about two phenomenal bands from that era that just great men, great people, always just a great show. I hope they're playing somewhere this weekend.
Well, normally about this time we get into some sports stuff.
Yeah, man. Plenty of
We've got a playoff game in Oxford this weekend, and a whole bunch of other stuff that nobody around here is really focused on. That's the two categories this week. Found something interesting. Came out this morning. CNBC every year puts out their official college sports program valuations for the year. Ole Miss came in at number 30.
As a program, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
$755 million valuation, which is up 16% from last year. Mississippi State was at number 38. $625 million. That's up 20%. What do you think the number one college athletic system is from a university in America?
Valuation?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, let's go with Ohio State. I mean, I'm going to start with Georgia, probably where I'd go, but I can't discount Oregon's value because of the partnerships and things they have.
Well, Ohio State, let me run through these. Ohio State's number 2.
Okay.
See, you're right there. Georgia, number 4.
Okay.
Again, you hit 2 of the top 5. Number 1, the University of Texas at Austin.
Man, you see, I should have thrown that one in there, but I didn't. You know, I was thinking too big, I guess.
Valuation $1.48 billion.
Man.
Ohio State's $1.35 billion. Number 3 is Texas A&M, $1.32 billion. Then Georgia at $1.16 billion. And number 5, Michigan University, $1.16 billion.
Wow. You know, put it into perspective. If you sent Texas to a foreign country, they would send it back. That wouldn't be enough money. Well, you know, $1.5 billion, that's nothing for what we give away. But if you put that into perspective, I mean, the program of UT Austin is worth that kind of money. And we have a tendency to ship that kind of money, way more than that, out to foreign governments and all this stuff. It's just wow. I mean, thinking about how big that program is, or all of those, putting it into perspective, that's a lot of money. To be sitting there as I can remember when I was a college kid, you were hopefully got new uniforms this year. It's a little different now,
and most of the time you didn't.
No, we had the ugliest uniforms, and it's hard to take red and blue and make them ugly. But we found a way to do that back in the 90s with sleeveless uniforms and all that junk. But yeah, you know, today is a different day.
The other one you mentioned.
Right.
Other one you mentioned was University of Oregon. Oregon came in 16th.
Really? Okay, so I was way off with them.
They came in behind Kentucky.
Man, that's hard to believe, isn't it?
Kentucky,
a horse racing state.
Yeah. Oregon, $880 million valuation. Okay. Kentucky, $910 million. Florida, $975 million.
Yeah.
Both of those above Oregon.
Where's A&M fit in there? Texas A&M, Texas 8-4.
Texas A&M is third.
Okay, yeah. That was the one from Texas I'd have probably put above Texas at UT, but I was wrong. There's always that little brother mentality a bit with A&M and Texas, so it's not surprising that both of those are in the top 5.
Here's one that might maybe surprise you. At number 8 is USC at $1.1 billion. Right above them at number 7, Tennessee, $1.12 billion, up 19% over last year.
Did I send you, or was it Richard that I sent the video of the kid? And he's in the back row of it has to be 7 or 8 year old kindergarten or something, or first grade. And they're having a big get together, and it looks like choir class maybe. And so all the kids are singing Rocky Top. And it's really funny.
Oh, yeah.
And the kid that looks like Kirby Smart's son. I mean, he looks just like him. He's sitting back there with his arms crossed on the top row with his Georgia little golf shirt on, and he's just shaking his head like, I'm not participating in this. Goes through the whole thing. It is the cutest thing I've seen in a while, watching that young man go, I'm not doing this. No, sir. The whole class is involved, and he is sitting there just protesting quietly with this kind of little look on his face like, I can't believe you're trying to make me do this.
I will not be a part of this heathen activity.
I loved it. This guy's got some backbone, man. I mean, all of his classmates are going to be like, what were you doing? I mean, why wouldn't you sing? But no, that's it.
That is conviction and loyalty. That's all that is.
I don't want to skip over Mississippi State either, because that's a great honor for them at the record and having a graduation rate that puts them into a bowl. The last time they played Wake Forest, they've only played them once. They beat them 23-17. That matchup was on 12/30 of 2011, so it's been a while. And it'll be a fun one. And that game is January the 2nd, I believe, is what we're looking at on that.
Yeah, I think so.
And a 7 p.m. game. I mean, I'm looking forward to State putting it on them there. Wake Forest is a solid program, and this ought to be a lot of fun and a great reward for Mississippi State. Not to discount what Ole Miss has in front of them, but you're right, as far as the playoffs and the bowls, what we have here is there has been some bowls, and I have not watched one of these yet. I have not been motivated. I don't know about you, but
no. You
had the Saturday game with Boise and Washington, which pretty good ball game lined up there. Washington won that one 38-10 in the bucked up LA Bowl. The Troy Jacksonville, that was the IS-4S Salute to Veterans Bowl. Jacksonville State won that one over Troy 17-13. Wednesday's games, you had Old Dominion and South Florida in the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. 24-10, Old Dominion beat South Florida. You had the Louisiana-Delaware, the Blue Hens. They beat UL 20-13 in the 68 Ventures Bowl, whatever that is.
I don't know.
I don't know what any of these bowls.
They have gotten so crazy with the bowls.
Then you got Thursday's December 18th matchup, which would have been yesterday, Missouri State and Arkansas State. Arkansas State won that one 34-28. Passing leader Jacob Clark had 349 yards in a big game there. In the Xbox Bowl, I didn't even know Xbox was still around.
No.
Yeah, I got one in
barely,
storage.
But they are.
I got one in storage. Today's matchups ought to be just as compelling as the previous one.
You said that with a straight face. I'm impressed with you.
We do get down to the evening game, which is a playoff game between Alabama and Oklahoma, number 9,
yeah,
number 8. That's a 7:00 game. That's in Memorial Stadium, Norman, Oklahoma. Line on that is 1.5. Oklahoma favorite, over under 40.5. But the ones that are going to happen during the day here, you got a breakfast game, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I bet there'll be some mimosas and crab cakes maybe served at that one. That is Kennesaw State and Western Michigan, 10 a.m., Brooks Stadium, Conway, South Carolina, they say. Myrtle Beach Bowl for that. And then Memphis takes on NC State at 1:30. That's Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida. NC State's a 3.5-point fave on that one. 56.5 over under. So it ought to be a lot of scoring between Memphis and NC State. And that is the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Don't know how all those go together, but they found a way, Dave, to cobble together Gasparilla and mortgages. I don't know how that happened, but
well, I would almost be embarrassed to have to split the cost of sponsoring the bowl with Gasparilla.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, buddy. Then tomorrow's matchups will be a little bit more enjoyable, I think. The one I'm rooting for here, of course, Ole Miss is my team in the playoffs, but if you have to pick the redheaded stepchild of the playoff, I'm going with James Madison. I'm going completely contrarian. You got Miami at A&M. That's the 11 a.m. early game. Kyle Field, A&M 3-point fave on that one. That's the college football playoff first round game there. That will be the second game of the playoffs. Alabama-Oklahoma tonight at 7. The second game of the playoffs tomorrow, third game overall, will be Tulane, number 11, at Ole Miss, 2:30. That is on about 18 different channels. If you really want to watch it, you can watch it on True TV also. Ole Miss is a 17.5-point favorite. 57.5 is the over-under, so they're expecting some octane. And then the nightcap, James Madison at Oregon, 6:30, TNT, HBO Max. And again, if you're a True TV fan, tune in to True TV. Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. Oregon is a 20.5-point favorite. 46.5 on the over-under. That's why I'm rolling with James Madison. I want an upset, baby.
Just want to point out, you're talking about State's bowl game. You know, State was 38th in program valuation for athletics. Wake Forest is 64th.
Wow, yeah.
So they may need to borrow some bus fare back home. Just saying. When we come back, we got 1.5 billion reasons for you to stick around, and we'll get into those with our Mississippi Lottery Report next on Mornings, presented by Community Bank. Rooted in our community, communitybank.net.
the Video.
From the White House to your hometown, this is where you find out what's happening. Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk, Mississippi.
What are we talking about today?
Money.
That's exactly right. Money, 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 in that order. It is time for your lottery update, and boy, did we have a beaut this morning. $1.5 billion with a B dollars. That's the jackpot for the Powerball drawing tomorrow night.
You can start a football program, huh?
You could almost, let's see, what was the top valuation? I still have that open over here on the old laptop.
Oh, by the way, Western Kentucky and Southern Miss, December 23rd, right around the corner. Tuesday, 4:30. Ought to be a heck of a ball game. Caesars Superdome. That is the New Orleans Bowl. We've actually heard of that one.
Yes.
That'll be a party, man. And congrats to the Eagles. I know that they finished a little less on the winning side as they wanted. Having a good season, though. New coach coming in. Everybody's excited. This is one you want to get. In Western Kentucky, a heck of a program, too. So ought to be a good one.
You know, playing in something like the New Orleans Bowl's got a little prestige to it. Yeah. Playing in the Denture Cream Doritos Bowl is not the same thing.
Yeah, you need to be like Tums needs to be a sponsor of most, like Rolaids and Tums. That needs to be the final sponsor of some of these hybrid bowls, because it seems like you would need a Tums after these combinations. Mortgages and Gasparilla? Yeah, I need it.
If you hit the $1.5 billion Powerball jackpot, you would be able to buy the entire athletic program at the University of Texas at Austin, UT Austin, and get some change back.
Yeah, I take it, man.
That's the most valuable one. Now, of course, you know, if you take the cash lump sum, which is what I'm going to do because I'm greedy and I'm in a hurry, I got a lot of toys to buy, you get a cash value estimated of $686.5 million. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good. But as we talk about all the time, it's not just about the jackpot. You've got a lot of smaller prizes. If you call $1 million smaller, you can win $1 million. And if you do the power play and it's not a jackpot, you can multiply it and get even more than what you're supposed to get. There's nothing else on the planet that does that right now, I don't think. All you have to do is get your ticket. Now, remember, most retailers shut down 9 o'clock is the latest, I think. They close down ticket sales an hour before the drawing tomorrow night. So make sure you put that in. It's a busy weekend. We've got the playoff game. We've got Christmas shopping. We've got all these things going on. Make sure you schedule in some time to grab your ticket, because despite the fact that some people like to say, oh, your odds of winning are so low, yes, but they're not zero and somebody's going to win. I'd like to at least have that brief moment of hope that it's me, right? That's all you can ask for in life sometimes. But one thing you're also going to get that you've never asked for if you hit this jackpot on the Powerball tomorrow night, a lot of previously unknown cousins are going to surface from out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, you will be the best friend of everyone on planet Earth, including and especially, might I add, Lance and myself. I had a lot of winners yesterday. Cash 4 players in Jackson and Saltillo each won $2,600. A Brookhaven woman won $2,700. Cash Pop had a $1,000 winner in Canton, a $2,500 winner in Tupelo. Match 5, the Lance Tolbert Memorial Tournament. Pearl Man won $800. And a woman in Summit, you ready for this? $54,000.
Merry Christmas.
She won on Match 5. That's going to make for a really good, they're going to have 2 hams.
Yeah. A couple of hams and maybe even a fried turkey in that deal.
We were pricing hams last weekend. I'm going to go eat at her house. You've got the Mega Millions. This is what I'm talking about. Mega Millions, everyone always focuses on the jackpot. Well, a woman in Purvis won $1,000 on a Mega Millions ticket. I'd take that the weekend before Christmas. Some of the scratch-off winners, the 15X crossword, so $3 scratch-off. A man in Grenada gave them $3. He got a ticket in return that won him $1,500. That's pretty good.
The cost of the ticket and that. I mean, he still cleared $1,000.
Yeah, and that and any snacks he got while he was picking up the ticket. The $100 million extravaganza. It's a $20 scratch-off ticket. Jackson Man won $2,000 on one of those. The $20 200X cash blitz. We see a lot of winners on this one. I don't know if you've noticed that. Mm-hmm. Pontotoc woman won $1,000 on one of those, and players from Nettleton, South Haven, and Mason, Tennessee each won $2,000.
Tennessee. I don't know
Mason, Tennessee.
Must be across the line somewhere real close.
Skipped right over the line there. Just leaned a little too far south and bought a ticket. And the Full of 5,000 is one of the newer scratch-offs games, another $20 ticket. They named it so well. A Utica man won $5,000 on the Full of $5,000 game. That's truth in advertising, my friend. There's a lot of money waiting for you. If you could use some money, might be a good idea to make a little investment in the Mississippi Lottery. If you're going to convince me you don't need any money, friendship applications are still open. We have news from Fox and SuperTalk Mississippi News, and then hour number 2 of mornings on the way next on SuperTalk Mississippi. Keep it here.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on this show are not the opinions of TeleSouth Communications, its management, or advertisers.
Start your day right. Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk Mississippi.
I am the sun and the air. The shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am sun and air of nothing in particular. Richard Jamal, how can you say I go about things the wrong way?
Theme song from the show Charmed. Once again, welcome back. Mornings, hour number 2 on SuperTalk Mississippi. Dave Hughes here.
Hey, one thing before we get rolling, and I know we're going to get deep into the conversation, I had 2 things. First and foremost, Ray in Long Beach, thank you for the beautiful picture from Pascagoula, almost sunrise. Man, that is beautiful.
Oh, nice.
And then one of my buddies in Oxford, Brian Sherwood for the Tallahassees, Joe Austin and the Tallahassees, another great band. I don't know why they haven't hit the big time yet. I hope they're playing this weekend somewhere so everyone can get a listen. But, man, he took a couple pictures early this morning for us. Tent City in Oxford in the Grove. It is already busy and ready to go.
No, it is. Yeah. It's packed.
I'm envious, Brian. Hey, thank you so much for y'all listening in, participating, and showing us a little bit about the world we live in out there today.
That was very nice. 2 things very quickly before I get going here. Starting next week, we've got a Mississippi Christmas with Steve Azar. Starts at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, December 23rd. Goes all the way through Christmas. And then, you may not know about this yet, Lance. Had a conversation yesterday. I want to tell you, let's brag for just a moment on Alex Payton.
Alex is awesome, yeah.
Works with us here, and she is the most magical booker I have ever dealt with in my life. She is just incredible at what she does. She called me yesterday. She sent me a text and said, call me when you get a chance. She was excited. She couldn't believe she had landed this. Next Friday morning, on mornings, we're going to have the post-holiday, after-action wrap-up interview. We are going to interview Santa Claus the day after Christmas.
He'll be 100 pounds lighter.
He's going to have tired eyes. I'll tell you that right up front. But we are actually interviewing Santa Claus 1 week from today. the day after Christmas. I'm excited about it.
I want to know from Santa directly what the training regimen is for the reindeer in the off season. That is one of the curiosities I have and always have. Like, what do they do? How do they eat? Like, what is it that they go through to get ready for this mad sprint for one night all around the world? Man, they got to be in good shape.
You're going to have to ask him. I'm going to struggle to get through this. I've been on the wrong list at the North Pole for quite a few years now, so it might be very close to a trial situation with a hostile witness. But we're going to do the best we can. 1 week from today, right after Steve Azar gets you through Christmas with a fantastic show. If you've never heard this,
man,
been doing it for years. Man, does he put it together.
He is such a talented guy to begin with. And, and there's not a more enjoyable person just to visit with for a second or two. I don't get a chance often to just hang out with Steve, but when I do bump into him, it's just this smile on the face, this guy that is just so fun to be around, so talented. And this event that Will and all of them work so hard to put together, it comes across as like it's just this easygoing, wonderful, little laid back. But man, all the work that they do to put that together, it really shows to me when they get it rolling. It is such a phenomenal thing, and I love it. And Steve is such an asset to the state, to us, and what a wonderful guy.
The problem for me with Steve Azar, as I've gotten to know him, let's run down the list. Incredibly talented musician, incredible ambassador for the entire state of Mississippi, a name in the music industry, a really genuinely nice guy.
As good as they come.
That's annoying. Have a flaw, man. One, make me feel better.
Oh, he has the best collection of hats on the planet, too.
Yes. Yeah. He is such a great guy. He's one of those people that you feel lucky to have gotten to know him. Not because he's a celebrity, not because he's well known everywhere, just because of who he is. He is such a great guy. So tune in starting Tuesday night at 6 o'clock and support him and finish off the eggnog and then run back and see if they've got any left at the store.
That Dutch eggnog stuff, was it the Pennsylvania Dutch one?
Yeah.
I remember a friend of my mother's giving me a bottle of that like 30 years ago, and she goes, "This is the best there is now." And I remember us opening up and drinking the whole thing there. And then eventually this stuff, you started seeing it everywhere. And I was like, man, I was first in on that deal. But I don't know about you, but I'm not a big nog person. But once I do open one, it's gone. It's gone. It's like a bottle of red wine. Once it's opened, it's over.
Let me flip back to the back of my pad I use every morning to do shows, because I've been keeping a little list of character traits of Lance Tolbert.
Yeah, I have a problem. Yeah.
Let me put poor self-control around eggnog.
Yeah, no,
there we go.
A bottle of red wine and eggnog are the two that my self-control, and tacos. I mean, I'll order 3 and then I'll look at the waiter and, but hey, would you bring me 3 more tacos? Like before I've even taken a bite, I underordered. My bad.
You sound like me at the all-you-can-eat fried catfish buffet.
Oh, man, yeah, there's never enough catfish, is there? I mean, I could sit at Jerry's all day. Personally, that's on the list in the next 2 weeks. I hope they're open because I've been having a hankering for an all-you-can-eat Jerry's fried catfish buffet with all the sides, the good stuff, the hush puppies, fries, and the slaw.
Okay. Let me set the stage for what we're going to talk about in the next segment, because we got carried away again. But, last night late, the news broke that they found the guy that did the Brown University shooting. And they're pretty sure he also is the one that killed the fusion researcher from MIT a couple of days later. This guy, number one, he had a green card. He was in the country on a program that President Trump announced this week that they were doing away with before they even knew this about this guy. So, boy, there's proof in the pudding right there that he's making a good move here. This guy went to Brown University, I think it was, 25 years ago? Something ridiculous like that. And he went to school with the fusion researcher back in Portugal, where he was from. Now, there's obviously there were some mental issues there, obviously. I don't think anyone would argue with that. But I also think that while this might not be indicative to it, we still have a major problem in America that continues to grow and fester, and that is the inability to regulate or deal with your emotions. If you carry a grudge for 25 years against a school and you're keeping up with it, you might have a problem. You do have a problem. Social media has led into that. The media in general has led into that. We've talked about this how many times? You're supposed to be mad 24/7, right? You're supposed to be mad, scared, upset, because you're easier to control. I'm not really sure this is going to bear out to be completely part of that problem. I'm going to be interested to see how this turns out, Lance, because there's a lot of moving parts to this that they haven't even begun to dip into yet. Because the professor that was killed, he was probably the leading researcher into fusion energy in the United States. He was our top guy. If this were a movie, if this were a movie, if this were a Bond movie, you and I like James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Then the shooting at Brown University was to distract everyone from the actual target. There's a non-zero chance that's true. I'm not saying it is. Most likely is not. But if you grew up on James Bond movies, you go, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? So I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out. The one problem is don't hold your breath waiting for answers on that.
Yeah, and this is all of these are strange situations where these shooters are, and it doesn't seem we ever get the truth.
No, you never do. And everyone raises a ruckus to get the truth so we can get justice, so we can stop all of this. And you're asking the people that are already hiding the truth and have been actively hiding the truth to suddenly stop hiding the truth because you asked them to. That, at best, is an unreasonable expectation. Which leads us beautifully into the next topic that we'll get into after the break. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I love Thomas, and he's asking you if you want some tinfoil this morning for your head.
Oh, I ordered that in bulk by the crate, actually.
Got the hat sitting right over there, just out of view, right?
I'm good to go. I just wanted to throw that out there because, I don't know. Also, we are actually going to discuss letters of marque before we're done. If you don't know what that is, congratulations. Not many people do. It's been introduced into Congress. We'll talk about that as well here on Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi. Keep it here.
Good morning, everybody. Time to wake up.
Time to shine! Start your day right. Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back. Super Talk Mississippi Mornings. Dave Hughes here. Mornings presented by Community Bank, rooted in our community. CommunityBank.net is where you go to find out more. Now, I was talking about in the last segment, don't expect to ever find out everything about this case where they found the guy last night who had apparently taken his own life, that carried out the shooting at Brown University and killed the MIT professor. Well, this is about managing expectations. We do a really bad job of that. Really bad. And I think it hurts us more than it helps us. And the Epstein situation is a great example of that. Today is the deadline to have all the files released. that they have on Epstein, all of them. You know, both houses of Congress passed it. It was unanimous consent in the Senate. No objection to it, 100-0. In the House, one person voted against it. That was it. It's the most overwhelming vote we've had in quite some time in Congress. And then President Trump signed it into law. Today is the deadline. They're required to release everything.
In a searchable and downloadable format as well.
Yes. Now, here is my question, because everyone is running around. Everyone is screaming from the rooftops that we're doing this to get justice. We need justice. We need to hold people accountable. Do you honestly, seriously believe that's going to happen no matter what is released today? Do you think this functionally is going to produce any measurable results other than getting to say they did it? Once again, you're expecting the people that have been hiding all this to suddenly decide they're not going to hide it anymore.
That's why I played the Lunatic Fringe by Tom Cochran.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah. Manage your expectations. Everyone is determined that this is it. This is the key. We're going. Oh no! Name some other time it's happened that way. It doesn't work that way. Never has. Never will. You don't set the fox to guarding the hen house for obvious reasons. Same analogous situation with this, I guess you would say. So manage your expectations. Whatever comes out today, I mean, they did a picture release a day or two ago. It was a bunch of nothing burger stuff. There was nothing there. The only really recognizable person in any of the photographs that were released was Epstein himself. And they've already said, and this is coming from Democrats too, they've already said they're going through and they're being very careful and redacting everything so that no victim will be implicated in anything or harmed in any way. And I think we can all be on board with that. But at the same time, they just freely admitted, yeah, we're going to release what we don't edit.
Yeah. We get the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries told reporters Thursday that Democrats, quote unquote, expect compliance with Friday's deadline. And if the Department of Justice does not comply with what is federal law at this point, there will be strong bipartisan pushback. We'll see, right? We'll see.
Yeah, right. Then you've got, this is one that's not going to pass. Again, manage expectations. But boy, do I wish it would. Senator Mike Lee from Utah has introduced something in the Senate, the Cartel Mark and Reprisal Reauthorization Act. Let's explain what that is, because nobody's dealt with this for quite some time. The Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11, grants Congress the power to issue letters of marque and reprisal, or give the President permission to issue letters of marque and reprisal. Do you know what that is, Lance? You're a history buff.
I think you got me on that one. Marque and reprisal.
Well, when I first saw it, I said, that's not what I think it is. Oh, yeah, it is. That is when a government basically gives a license to private individuals to become privateers and capture boats.
I thought it had something to do with privateering, but I didn't want to jump out there with that. Yeah. And marque being M-A-R-Q-U-E, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. I had to double check and look up and make sure it wasn't more Q or something ridiculous. No, it is marque, is how it's pronounced, apparently. Last time we used that was back during the Civil War. Mm-hmm. Before that, it was the War of 1812. It used to be commonly used. But here's the thing. It's still in the Constitution. This isn't just being made up out of whole cloth. They can authorize people. Now, the way it works when you're a privateer, here's a lesson you didn't expect to get when you showed up for class this morning. When you're a privateer, you fund your own operation. You buy your own gas. You outfit your own boat. You hire your own people. And then you go hunt down folks that are breaking the law, and you get them. Mm-hmm. it's kind of the maritime version of being deputized in a way.
And also allowing a little bit of a buffer in there between the government per se and the military versus a private entity that can kind of operate in a different capacity with less regulation. I watched all 3 of the Treasure Island movies the other day. The first one, 1938. So it's funny we're talking about privateering. But yeah, that if you go back, good old Captain Long John Silver and all that, and Stevenson's novel, it really goes into some of those interesting pieces. But if you fast forward to the Ronald Reagan years, he was blowing up drug boats in the Caribbean left and right. Like, what's changed? Why is that a problem now? I guess is my question.
I'll tell you what's changed. The hypocritical behavior of just about everybody in Washington. The law that was put into place that authorized and made legal blowing up cartel boats outside of U.S. waters was written, introduced, and championed before it passed in 1986 by a young Chuck Schumer. Go look it up. He's the one that wrote the law that allows this. Yes. And he's against it. It's horrible. Really? You didn't think so then? What's going on now? And I'm sure he'll come out against this. By the way, it's not just the Senate. Tim Burchett from Tennessee, the representative, has introduced the House version of this legislation to allow the president to issue letters of marque and reprisal to send private citizens out.
And I'm in
their boat with their stuff and just go take over other boats.
Yeah, I need to pull my John boat out and my 5-horsepower Minn Kota little trolling motor and get my guns lined up. I'm ready, man.
I want to tell you something. As I have mentioned before, I married a girl from Grand Isle, Louisiana.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the Cajun Navy.
You get the Cajuns, you start waving the opportunity to make a little money. Yeah. You're grabbing somebody else's boat. Yeah, don't be standing in front of them because they'll run over you to get there.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen them grab a gator, you don't want to be on the other end of that if you're the drug dealer.
That's the other thing. They'll win.
Yeah, they're going to win.
They'll win every time.
They know how to handle a 16-foot gator. And, with Schumer, I mean, if you go back that far, I think he had just gotten his plugs right after that. So I think they sutured him to his skull or his brain or something because since then he is – it's kind of like Biden. Once he got his plugs, he went off the deep end. I think they went too deep. Hit the cerebral cortex.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these moderate Democrats have – look at them today. What happened?
Yes, everything has changed.
They had plugs, and it got sutured to their cerebrum, I'm telling you.
Now we're going back to something last used in the Civil War. It's been introduced in both the House and the Senate. Obviously, it'll be after the first because the House adjourned for the holidays yesterday. They had originally planned to work today, but House Speaker Mike Johnson declared yesterday a district work period starting at the close of the session yesterday all the way through until January 6th. So nothing is going to be voted on now that hasn't already passed through the House that's going to get anywhere. But when they come back, that's one of the things waiting for them. It's been introduced in the Senate. Today's their last day before the holiday. Don't expect it to come up for a vote. But this is where we're at. This is what we're talking about. Letters of marque and reprisal. Have you ever wanted to be a privateer?
I have, yeah.
You could get your now that's not a pirate. A pirate is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I want to be both. I want to be the privateer and the pirate.
The difference between a pirate and a privateer is the difference between a bank robber and a bounty hunter.
Yep. You got to have a letter. You have a marque and reprisal.
Yes. That's probably the closest analogy I can draw. So, once again, the Trump administration working hard to create new jobs.
I love it.
When we come back, Chairman of the Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks Committee in the Mississippi House, Representative Bill Kincaid joins us right after this on Mornings here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
From the Seabrook.
Mornings with Richard Cross is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Start your day right.
Good morning, America. How are you?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Welcome back. SuperTalk Mississippi mornings on a beautiful, work with me, beautiful Friday morning. It's a little overcast down here, Lance. I don't know what it looks like up there, but
about the same, yeah.
Haven't seen the sun yet.
Not yet.
Got to get that vitamin D pumping. Working out some details to get Representative Kincaid on with us. In the meantime, I do have one thing to pass along. We were just talking about the letters of marque and reprisal, basically bringing privateers back. Why not? You know? And I said that Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee had introduced the House version of the bill. Well, he's introduced something else. He's introduced a bill to ban stock trading by members of Congress. He did that a little while back. He does not own any stock because, you know, you get to publicly track what members of Congress are doing. That's how we know how much Nancy Pelosi has made. Tim Burchett doesn't own any stock, so he's kind of speaking from the moral high ground there. Somebody posted that and he replied to it on Twitter and said, all my money is in baseball cards and comic books.
There you go.
Hey, that's a
make some money off
maker.
of that. Yeah, if you've been holding on to that stuff for a while.
Yeah, that just had I think it was a Superman comic. I think it was Superman #1 sold for like $3, $4, $5 million.
Man, I was not that good with magazines and cards. I did have a great collection of baseball cards, but they all disappeared at a garage sale, you know, like many, many years ago. But I never got into comics much. I mean, but man, those things they got some value if you get one of those that are worth something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and some of the ones that are worth something would surprise you.
I'm a Buck Rogers fan.
Gil Gerard died this week.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned that. I went the one thing about Buck Rogers that really, to me, is was it Twiki or whatever the robot is?
Oh, yes.
Mel Blanc. He did the voice for that. You know, and it was awesome. I mean, that show was unique, you know, but I love some of the old stuff like that came from comics and made it. But yeah, that I was rewatching some of that stuff and I was like, man, this is gold. Gold, I tell you.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Yes.
Only 400 years to go.
Man, that was it was a great show, but they tried to change everything up in year 2. It didn't work as well. Then they brought back Mel Blanc as the voice of Twiki or whatever his name is, the robot. And it was just one of those shows that just never really, you know, found a consistent feel, I guess. But the comics and all that, you know, it was good stuff. They tried to make all the uniforms and everything like the comics.
Yes.
Oh, it was probably disco. You know, the whole first year was disco, and then the time.
You're talking about Buck Rogers makes me think of something only tangentially related. Do you remember the show Logan's Run?
Oh, I love it. You told me the movie? I've seen that with Richard. What's his name? He just died last year too.
What was his name?
Golly, man. Richard.
That's going to bother me now.
I'll get it here in a second. I love Logan's Run, though. What a great movie.
C Spire text line, help us out. Who was it that starred in Logan's Run?
I got you right here. Yeah, I'm there. It's Michael York is one of them, and Richard Jordan. Yeah, that was
Richard Jordan.
I love Richard Jordan. Yeah. Farrah Fawcett was in that one also. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, before she went cuckoo.
that was great. Everybody, I think, was it 25 or 30 that at that point, if you were still alive, they just did away with you.
Yeah, Michael York was Basil Exposition on, was it, which one of he played the Basil Exposition on Mike Myers. What is it? The Austin Powers.
Austin Powers,
he was the head spy guy, yeah.
Oh, man.
But Logan's Run, great movie. If you haven't seen it, 1976. The poster makes you want to watch the movie. I mean,
it was great.
Like when
it really was.
I love the old movie posters and stuff from back then. It's like, man, I got to watch this. It may be the worst movie of all time, but the movie poster would pull you in.
President Trump had a busy day yesterday. Mm-hmm. He had a lot of stuff he put out. One of them, the one that has gotten all of the news, was the rescheduling of marijuana. It's always been Schedule 1 drug up there with heroin, LSD, all of those. He directed Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to get it going and reclassify it as a Schedule 3 drug. That puts it in the same category as Tylenol with codeine and testosterone and things like that. What this does, now I've seen a lot of people that don't understand what happened there. And this is a bipartisan issue. This whole push was started during the Biden administration. But President Trump, as usual, how many different topics did we see the Biden administration shuffle their feet around and go, well, we really want to get it. I promise we'll get something done. And then Trump just comes in and goes, oh, by the way, I did that. Next. Mm-hmm. This is another one of those. This does not legalize marijuana. Go into your local store and try to buy some Tylenol with codeine over the shelf. It doesn't make it legal. It doesn't legalize recreational marijuana. It doesn't change anything, except in a couple of very key ways. And here in Mississippi, with the medical marijuana system we have in place now, it will have an impact. One of the big ones is, with it becoming a Schedule 3 drug instead of a Schedule 1, that solves one of the problems people involved in the medical marijuana industry in Mississippi have. It's going to make it easier to use banking services. Mm-hmm. Because, they haven't been able to because of the federal classification of it.
I can imagine how weird that would be, knowing you've got a legal business in a state, but yet federally it's not legal, and here you are making money. You got to pay federal taxes on this stuff, state taxes. You got employment withholdings, all this stuff. It's a mess. And it has to be cured. That can't be healthy.
Yeah, and this opens the door to that. It opens the door to more research, yes, definitely. But to me, the biggest impact for the people already participating in the weed economy, if you will, especially here in Mississippi, it's going to give them a little relief and let them do it. Because, what do you do? Do you take your taxes up to the Capitol in a wheelbarrow full of pennies and say, here you go? Mm-hmm. If you can't open a bank account for your business, you are running the race with both legs tied together.
Well, the industry itself has grown markedly since how many years? 28, 30 states roughly, isn't it, that have legalized the medicinal use of it? I can imagine the banking side of that being a little bit janky, likely needing to use crypto and things of that nature maybe to hold. I'm curious how this will impact the banking side. As a good point you made there, because with the way it is now, it seems it would be extremely janky and very difficult to really predict where you're moving from here as an industry, because it's kind of like anything that has a lot of input costs that change greatly.
I know some people in the industry. This is a problem. Yeah. This has been a problem since we started, and there was nothing we could do about it in Mississippi. This might help alleviate some of that.
One question, Jeff in Grenada, does the cannabis class rescheduling get anyone released from jail? Would that happen?
I don't know. It will depend on how it's done and how it's carried out, because number one, I'd have to know if, selling and using Tylenol with codeine without a prescription is a felony.
Yeah.
Before it was a felony because it was a Schedule 1. Mm-hmm. Would it still be a felony? Are you going to grandfather this in? There's a lot of things that are going to have to be figured out. That's the other misrepresentation here. Everybody thinks President Trump did that with the stroke of a pen. No. With a stroke of a pen, he directed Pam Bondi to make this happen. So we've got a little time for it to play out before this kicks in, but I think it's going to have some beneficial effects for a lot of folks right here in Mississippi.
Yeah, I think, on the other side, you can also give them a letter of marque and reprisal if you let them out, and they could become a privateer.
Oh, my hen house is already well guarded with foxes. I don't need more. Yeah, the person that was in jail for illegal drug charges, let's send them to take over the drug boats. That's a great idea, Lance.
Yeah, it's just a thought, I mean.
You should be in Washington.
I know, yeah. I could come up with some great stuff. I know I could.
Hey, a lot of those seats at the Capitol, you would be an enormous upgrade.
Well, I would assure you that every meeting we had, it would be Taco Tuesday and all-you-could-eat catfish.
And the walkout music for senators and representatives would be epic.
Oh, definitely. I've got a whole list of stuff waiting just to be played. A walkout song. It was funny. I was communicating with Lars Larson yesterday after the show, and he was like, "Hey, man, would you use this picture next time?" I said, "Yeah, next time you're walking out to AC/DC Back in Black. From here on out, that is your walkout song." He goes, "I love it." So
perfect.
Yeah, I've got everybody something lined up.
We will continue on mornings right after this on Super Talk Mississippi. Keep it here.
From the Venable Glen,
Mississippi.
Good morning. Good morning to you there.
Okay, up and at 'em.
Start your day right. Mornings with Richard Cross on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back. I'll let him claim it for himself if he wants to, but a member of the SuperTalk staff, a member of the family, texted me during the break and said, actually, the best walkout song for Congressman is Highway to Hell.
Yeah, and Ryan Miller, a great guest, also said and sent a text during the break. And he said, man, I've always thought about if I could get in the head of a pitcher, what my walkout songs would be. Or and he says, Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round. That's a good one. Anything by Yoko Ono. And What's New Pussycat by Tom Jones. So Ryan Miller, a great musician. Yeah. He's a great musician as well and a brilliant man.
That would be good.
Hey, and the song I just played is for all of those Tulane fans that are making their way north. You know that we want you here. There's your Cajun music. Talk to me through drink. That will be what you do in the Grove this weekend. So that was a little subliminal advertisement for you guys.
I like that. That kind of slid that in on us.
Yeah, I tried to.
And the text you told me about during the break from the C-Spire text line, absolutely perfect.
Ken in West Point comes up with that one. The Patriots of the Caribbean.
I love it.
Arg, matey. Well, that was the biggest, best, hugest drug bust we've ever made.
Patriots of the Gulf of America.
Oh, man.
That's what we'll call I would like to point out, everybody's been making a deal about it. I've seen one or two people make this joke, but not many. There has never been a named tropical system in the Gulf of America.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, because this is the first year it's been called the Gulf of America, and we didn't have one. So I think the name change brought good luck.
And that's a great question. Who's the one that thought that the Gulf of Mexico is going, that Mexico was going to be the big player here in this hemisphere back when they named it? I want to know who's responsible for that.
Well,
do they have a statue somewhere?
if you look at the way things were at that point, it almost kind of made sense. Yeah. In a way, at that point, but that was poor predictive ability by whoever came up with the name.
They obviously didn't have AI, right?
I feel reasonably confident in agreeing and saying yes. The AI back in the 1400s, not that good.
Well, I mean, Giorgio Tsoukalos, it was aliens, so.
Big hair.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, In addition to the marijuana thing, President Trump also issued a thing on the space program yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. Said that basically guaranteeing that we will be back to the moon by 2028 and have a base on the moon by 2030, getting ready to go to Mars.
Okay.
Just to make sure you got the proper thought process about this, he said 2028. In a week and a half, 2 weeks, it's going to be 2026. So he's talking about pretty quick here.
Ramping it up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got the privatization of the industry with Musk revolutionizing reusable rockets, all these things. It'll be interesting to see where we go from here. The costs have always been so astronomical to do the NASA program the way we had for so long. I'm interested in to see how the privatization of it works. Are we going to start selling, like gas mines on Mars or something? I mean, I'm curious how it's all going to play out, because you can imagine you don't make these types of investments just to go look and see how things are. I mean, nobody got on a boat in Spain and went through the Atlantic just to go see what color the water was. They went over there for riches. They went over there to get stuff.
Elon Musk made a point earlier this week, actually, or late last week, in an interview, said when the mass driver goes online on the moon, money will no longer mean anything.
Yeah.
Now, the mass driver is something that will basically use electricity and nothing else to shoot stuff all over the place from the moon. There's enough things on the moon that are worth literally trillions of dollars that it could, as Elon said, make money meaningless, which would be an interesting adjustment everybody on the planet would have to make. I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
Just go to the store and rob it, I guess, like so many are getting away with today. Just go ahead and get what you want.
If the money is meaningless, there's no price on it. Is it robbery? At that point, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to be reinventing a lot of stuff, I think. If you hit the gold mine in a place like that.
Yeah. So interesting stuff coming, and we're kind of in the same situation we were when Kennedy declared that we would put a man on the moon by the end of the decade, and we did. But then we were racing Russia. This time we're racing China. Very similar situation in a lot of ways. The first time was as much about military superiority and prestige as anything. This time it's all about that money, baby. 100% about the profit. We've got Fox News, SuperTalk Mississippi News, and then the final hour we get to spend together before Christmas this year. On the way next on SuperTalk Mississippi. Keep it here.
She pulled my shoes off. Oh, that's what she did to me. She put my shoes off.
The mall closes in 10 minutes, all right? So now's the time to hustle.
Not sure what to get that hard-to-shop for special someone for Christmas? Rest assured, they'll be very surprised with the Scary Gary Jack in the Box. It's sculpted to perfection with a salt and pepper 70s mustache and the smell of stale cigarettes. It's the Scary Gary Jack in the Box, and it'll set the mood ablaze while scaring the mess out of you.
Hey, y'all! Wow, just what I've always wanted.
The Scary Gary Jack in the Box, brought to you by the National Keychain and Phone Holster Association.
You like that?
It gets me every time. My favorite part of that, the part that just hits me every time, is the little kid's voice going, just what I always wanted.
Yeah, off to The Simpsons, yeah. Just what I always wanted.
Perfect.
He and I were laughing about that one yesterday. I'm digging that out, buddy.
Man, that's a classic, actually. I love that so much. Welcome back. Mornings presented by the folks at Community Bank, where they're more than just a place to manage your money. They're your neighbors, your partners, and your trusted financial advisors. For decades, they've been rooted in the community, helping families, small businesses, and individuals achieve their dreams. Whether it's opening your first savings account, planning for a brighter future, or just growing your business, I say just as if it's, not that big of a deal. It's a huge deal. Well, Community Bank's there for you every single step of the way. They're dedicated to their customers, committed to your success, and always there when you need them. Community Bank, rooted in our community, member FDIC. Randy walked in, one of our SuperTalk family down here. He has now claimed John Cena's theme as his walkout music since Cena's not using it anymore.
Yeah, he got a hairdo also. The plugs must not have hit his brain. He seems to be doing better with.
They used the right length staples with him.
They did it the right way. Getting back to all of the moon exploration and all that. I'm such a Flash Gordon fan. The 1980 movie. I'm really hoping that's our future world. What a great movie. And you had Max von Sydow. He would be Musk, right? But
yes.
Musk would have to shave his plugs off and have that bald do, because that's what's Hans Zachau. Anyway, I love the movie. As we start talking about space exploration, I hope the movies come back from that area because they were so great.
Well, it's so funny that you're mentioning that and mentioning Flash Gordon with the planet Mongo coming into range with Earth, which was part of the whole conceit of that storyline.
Yeah.
The comet, the 3I Atlas, is making its closest approach to Earth today, and we're back to managing expectations. Because I'm seeing headlines everywhere. It's here. Today is the day. Yeah, it's 167 million miles away. That's as close as it's getting.
I was curious if we would go that route with the Atlas. And, are we heading to the moon by 2028 because Atlas told us to and the aliens have communicated with us? Or is it just a big rock flying through the sky and, we're on schedule to just get back to the moon?
Here's a throwback for you. There was a piece issued it was an interview, I think. Uri Geller, you remember that name?
Yeah, definitely.
The spoon bender? Said that aliens from 3I Atlas are already on Earth and have been for a little while now. So, when you get trusted sources like that filling you in, you have to stop and pause and try to assimilate that information. And I'm done. Also, several people have joked about this. They're trying to turn it into a horrible thing. No, it's not, but I do see the comparisons. President Trump announced the Hunger Games yesterday. Did you see that?
No, I did not. I missed that one.
As part of the 250th celebration of America coming up in 2026, he is starting what he's calling the Patriot Games, where we will have one male and one female high school athlete from each of the 50 states to go and compete to win the title.
Okay. And what are the events?
I don't know.
Okay.
It may not have been planned that far out. I don't know, but it is eerily similar in some ways to the plot of Hunger Games.
Uh-oh.
Which was actually a ripoff of an old Japanese movie called Battle Royale. But, yeah, it's going to be slightly different, guys.
No Snowpiercer. They don't have to travel on a train to do this, right? And just around the world in a train and just drop them off here and compete for a hot dog eating contest. You can't beat the Asians in hot dog eating unless you're Joey Chestnut, though.
Yeah,
hopefully we're not doing a hot dog eating contest as part of this.
Well, I'm just saying, if we've got a team of one each, male and female, high school athletes from each of the 50 states, Mississippi's got a decent shot at this.
Yeah.
Think about it. We can outrun a Kansas boy any day.
We can outsing, outrun, out-eat. There's a lot of stuff we're better at here than anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, so I've got my money on us. We'll wait and see what the events are.
Yeah, don't snooze on Mississippi in the grand competition.
In the Patriot Games.
Patriot Games.
But I'm seeing everybody freaking out and a lot of leftists going, he's announced the Hunger Games. This is horrible. I'm like, oh, shut up.
They'll start calling him Ming the Merciless before long.
It is so funny that the left has become so humorless. We talked about this last week.
Oh, goodness.
You have to have a sense of humor. You have to make fun of things. Because if you don't, If you treat everything as world-ending, most definite, nonstop serious, well, then you're just a liberal. Yeah. That's how they look at everything. President Trump, I really truly believe this. I see the twinkle in his eye and I see what he's doing, is having the time of his life pulling the liberals' chains. The picture in the Hall of Presidents that he put in at the White House of Joe Biden, but instead of Biden, it's just an auto pen, is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Everybody has flown off the hinges on the left, and all of these things that he says, that he does, all of it, and he's just having a ball with it, as he should. But that went out of fashion for a while. It's starting to come back into fashion, and hopefully that continues, because that's the way you win. You make fun of them until they're humiliated enough they shut up for a while.
Well, you know, when it's always someone else's fault, you've lost your sense of humor. And
yes.
There is a big movement here, and I try to keep up with it across the country, it seems, and in the world, where, you know, there's a lot of finger pointing at a specific group, and there's never any, you know, reflection on maybe your contribution to your own problems. It's always someone else now. And I think as you get away from humor and comedy, that's what happens. You start pointing fingers rather than looking in the mirror and kind of laughing at yourself sometimes and going, man, I can sure be an idiot at times. When you become the smartest person in the room by default because you think you are, I think that's where we are at times right now. You know,
yes, yes, very much. Yeah. Well, see, the only thing indicated by realizing you're the smartest person in the room is that you need to go to a different room. Mm-hmm. That's the one lesson to learn from that. But have you ever noticed when we go through times like this where a bunch of self-righteous people decide that their way is the only way to do things, the comedians are the first ones to start having trouble.
Yeah.
They're the first ones to have problems and have somebody come down on them. The cancel culture movement was a perfect example of that. Mm-hmm. You say and think and behave exactly as we tell you, or we're going to ruin your effective life. And that includes making fun of what we think are very serious issues. And I'm sorry, a lot of times it's just something Trump threw out there just to watch them dance. Yeah, just to get the reaction.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't remember who it was. I read so much, but I think it was yesterday or last night. It was somebody in California with a governor or somebody said, we need more trans people.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Are you making them? Is that what we're doing? You know,
well, I mean, by definition, they're constructed or deconstructed, depending.
What's going on here, man? I mean, we live in a bizarro world. When we need more trans people. Like, what are we talking about? Are you recruiting them from countries? Are you building them in a lab? I mean, what are we doing here, man?
Remember the old saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, that's it's kind of the way I feel at times. Like, man, is that all we're working with here? Is that's the debate, right? Some lunacy at times. Like, we need more trans people. Okay, is that do you ask for that for Christmas? Are you hoping for Santa to bring a few and put them under the tree for you?
When trans rights is the only hook you have to hang your hat on and you want to keep it clean and off the floor, well, you use it every day. Yeah. Now, the best way to combat that, eventually they stop wearing it. If every time they walk in and hang it on their hook, you make fun of the hat.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like,
that's the stupidest looking hat I've ever seen.
Well, and you know, all these alien stories, it's always they're coming back here because they can't reproduce anymore. Is this a future human that they said, let's go tranny, and 1,000 years later it didn't work out too well for you? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, you know, we're below replacement rate on births in America right now because so many people have reached the point where they're just going, whatever. I don't have the energy for this. Can't really blame them necessarily. When we come back, we have, I guess you could consider this an expert opinion on concussions in sports. You're going to love this one. If you haven't heard this yet, you're going to love it. We'll do that when we return here on SuperTalk.
SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go. Now back to Mornings with Richard Cross.
Now that's entertainment.
God, I love Dino De Laurentiis.
Only Dr. Hans Zarkov, formerly at NASA.
Yeah, only Zarkov can fix the problem.
They got Queen to do this.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. You got to get back to this in movies. You got to.
Yeah.
Queen does it, and it's considered like the worst movie ever made. I disagree. It's one of the best ever.
Yeah, I could give them a list if they want the worst movie ever made. All right, there is a wide receiver on the Los Angeles Rams, Puka Nacua.
Oh yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah. Well, he just over the weekend 9 receptions, 181 yards. That's pretty good. Well, he was on Aiden Ross's stream. Aiden Ross is a streamer and influencer. And he said, Nacua said, quote, that concussions aren't real.
Maybe he has one.
Well, it gets better. He then went on to say concussions are all in your head.
Ooh, okay.
Well, yeah. It's kind of the definition.
Yeah, it didn't happen to your big toe.
He did, however, say that ACL tears are legitimate. Well, that's good. Dr. Nacua, hard at work in today's society trying to make things better. So if you ever think you've got a concussion, he would like to tell you you're making it up.
No, yeah, you don't have a concussion. It's just a headache.
Quit being a sissy.
Rub some dirt on it. Get back out there. Let's go.
Rub some dirt on your brain and get back to it.
Yeah. Get some plugs sutured to your cerebrum. You're fine.
This is why we really have to be careful with quote unquote expert opinions, because an NFL player, an established good NFL player. You can't take their word for everything just because they're good at one thing.
Yeah. You can't. I put a post out on X yesterday, and it was in response to some of this stupidity. I'm like, I always love it when musicians and entertainers and athletes give me their political opinions. It's so cute, isn't it? I mean, yes. At what point did you finish high school? Did you read it all? I mean, it's so fun to listen to idiots when they decide to tell you how dumb they are. Oh God. And it's usually an entertainer, an athlete,
well, there are two things about that.
All right, bring it on, man.
2 things about that. Number one, is that there are always a group of people that agree with them.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because they're famous.
They're fans of them.
Yes. And number 2, that's the reason they keep saying whatever comes to their mind, because, well, it's working. Yeah. Why would I stop? Their career's going great. They've got a legion of fans surrounding them going, yeah, you're right. Concussions are all in your head.
Yeah, I mean, fame and money don't equal brain power.
That's why I'm sorry. Who was it? Was it Cardi B that has had a bit of a MAGA turnaround lately, and she's all MAGA now?
Oh, yeah.
That's great, but I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't have any impact. Will you please
sing your little songs, cash your checks, and go hang out at your mansion? That is literally your purpose on this planet. We don't need to know your thoughts on tariffs. We don't need to know your thoughts on imports or immigration or anything else. Just entertain us. That's what entertainers are there for. Same thing with sports figures.
Yeah, it's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah, but the problem is that happens and keeps happening, and they keep doing that because it's working. That's the way it works now.
I guess
it's because of the population buying into it and going, yeah, you're right.
So you got to hold people. It was something I've been thinking about more and more as we see some of these kind of crazies that are, holding office. And we go, well, they need to be thrown out of office and all this. Look, people are electing these folks. Yeah. The point you're just making here is, I mean, if you don't consume the product, then it doesn't exist, right? I mean, nobody is going to be out there spewing junk if nobody's consuming it. And it kind of works the same with bad politicians. I mean, people are electing these folks, and many times they reelect these folks. At what point do you go, it's you, you're the problem, and it's maybe not the leader?
That's exactly my point. Yeah, everybody's running around, as you just said, screaming, we need to remove that person from office. We'll beat them in the election.
Exactly. Isn't that the point?
We literally have a process for that. And the fact that you're screaming that about someone who won an election most of the time means you are, by definition, in the minority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the majority of the people that voted chose that person, for better or worse, a lot of times worse, but they did make their choice. Their voice was heard, and that's part of the hypocrisy of modern life. On Election Day, make sure your voice is heard unless you say something we don't like, in which case we're going to try our best to convince everyone to undo that. We have to get back to a more rational sense, not a completely rational sense of how the world works. It's never been rational, and you're fooling yourself if you think so. But a more rational sense of how things work, because right now it's just crazy cuckoo Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
It's just way out. It's so far out in left field, they're getting splinters from the fence in their backsides.
Well, I agree. It seems like almost everything going on is like a kid's cereal commercial or a kid's toy commercial. You know, it's just everything going on and all the noise and all the sides. Buy this, do this, you know. And the kid's like, I got to have it, Mama.
Yes.
You know, it's just getting fed to you in a way that such constancy.
This is a message that I am going to continue preaching for the rest of my life. Stop buying into what you're being sold. You mentioned the whole trans thing. That's a sales job is all it is. That is a sales job for reasons that have nothing to do with the people they're talking about. Nothing. It's all about power, it's about control, and it's about getting the right group of people who will agree with everything you say, because if they agree with you on that, they'll go along with any tax, any policy, anything that they want to put in if they get elected. So, of course, that's a great screening tool for the left. Oh, you're with me on this? Well, you're going to be with me on everything, aren't you? Okay, that's good.
Blind, following blindly instead of... doing some digging, doing a little work. Don't trust everything you read or everything somebody says. You actually got to put in a little effort. Don't just listen and say, that's it. That's the answer. You got to do a little digging.
To me, the most useful phrase in modern life that has gone severely out of favor is the following, said in your head or out loud, it doesn't matter, exactly like this. Yeah, right. That should be your immediate first gut response to everything you're told through the national media, from an entertainer, from a sports star, from a politician, from anyone. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the way I am with about anything. If anybody tells me something, I usually have a bit of skepticism, especially the more high up that person goes, the more influence they have and the more people that are, listening to them. I generally try to go, I don't think I'm going to believe that.
Yeah.
When it's more arm's length, a friend, somebody you know personally and all that, I have a tendency to try to trust them as much as possible. But, yeah, I don't believe anything that comes out of anyone's mouth, generally speaking. Now, I love, like, Lars Larson. He's one of the ones that over the many years I trust Lars because I know he does his work.
Yes.
I would say he's fairly mainstream. I mean, he's everywhere. And I absolutely enjoy his perspective because he is a guy that brings the naysayers in, says, hey, tell me your problem and let me have a conversation with you about it. And I think that's part of what makes us all human is communication. And we seem to have separated ourselves from personal communication where it's all digital now. Do you think that has something to do with the disconnect out there, that you don't really have these connections as we used to? And it's harder to hold people accountable without that, maybe. I don't know.
Well, and the biggest part of the problem to me is something you've heard me say many times. Once we fully weaponized the principles of persuasion, none of that mattered anymore. Genuineness, authenticity went right out the window. It's all about who can twist your brain around the best.
Put it into a noodle knot, right?
A noodle knot.
Yeah, you get that noodle good and wet, tied up in a knot, and then let it dry over there. I think that's the way most of our brains work right now. Is like, wow. I mean, it's kind of dried out and crusty and broken, and you're going, man, I need a little moisture on this thing right now.
I think Kamala Harris didn't wet her noodle before she tied the knot.
Yeah,
that might be part of the problem. She'll be in Jackson next month.
Oh, yeah. I might actually go.
Her book, 107 Brain Cells, available today. Plenty of copies.
I'm bringing a box of Boda red wine. I want her to sign it with an auto pen.
I want to bring a copy of The Art of the Deal and get her to sign it. Why?
Yeah, me and you need to show up. I'm bringing the box of wine, and you bring The Art of the Deal.
You know why I want to do that? Because I'm a jerk. I've never tried to hide that from anyone, and I'm not going to start now.
Please don't.
And I like a good laugh. When we come back, the man right in the center of the action, Sports Talk's Michael Borkey joins us here on Mornings Super Talk Mississippi. Keep it here.
From the Seabrook.com
app and at SuperTalk.fm with Richard Cross on Super Talk Mississippi. Yeah!
Welcome back. Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi. Dave Hughes here. And now a man who is in the beating heart of Mississippi this weekend. I think it's safe to call Oxford that with the playoff game coming in. Sports Talk on hand, broadcasting again today from the library on the square in Oxford, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. And it's the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Borkey. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, excited. So I had to come back for school drop-off this morning, so I'm doing the old snip, snap. But Oxford was great yesterday, and Dave, it's funny. It was a little low-key, Thursday afternoon when we got started. As we were leaving, the traffic coming into town was crazy, and I've been talking to some friends that are already up there today, and today is a totally different vibe than it was yesterday. So I'm excited to, when we hang up here, I'm getting in the shower and heading right back up to Oxford, and I'm excited because I think that we had a great time yesterday, really good show. I think the energy level is going to turn up about 10 notches today.
I think you're right, and I made a guess earlier in the show this morning, and I want to get your opinion on it. What do you think? Is this going to be the largest group of people we've ever seen in Oxford? Because it's not just the people that fit in the stadium. You got a bunch of people coming to town that aren't going to be in the stadium for the game, but they're still there to be a part of it. Is this going to be the biggest crowd the town's ever seen?
Maybe not the biggest crowd the town has ever seen. I would not be surprised if a stadium attendance record is broken, though.
That's true. What is the capacity, the seating capacity up there?
Capacity is 64,038. They broke a record of just over 67,000 for the Florida game. And they sold 3,000 more student tickets than they allowed to be available during the season. So, 1 + 1 often equals 2, right? So if they have 3,000 more seats than they sold for a record game earlier this season, you would assume that a record's going to be broken on Saturday as well.
Think they'll hit 70?
If not, they'll get close. I would expect that. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many more people they can fit in that place. But, it's going to be absolutely wild. And, we were talking about this yesterday some. I have friends in particular, one that I was talking to earlier this week where he said his entire life he's grown up going to Ole Miss games, sitting next to his dad and his grandfather. And his grandfather has recently passed. And he said when the team takes the field, he's going to be emotional because not only will he wish that his grandfather was here to see that and then everything that comes with that because – he was like, well, he will be with me, just not physically there, but I know he's there. And he's like, I've sat in that stadium through bad seasons, bad decades, and to see the playoff logo on the field and the team take the field in a playoff game is going to be something that I never thought was able to happen. And so you've got a lot of people like him that are going to this game this weekend that never imagined Ole Miss football getting into the place that they're currently in. And, of course, the expanded playoff has helped that some, but it's a unique situation. There's never been a home playoff game in the state before, and people are going to have a lot of mixed, all positive, but mixed feelings about what that means for them personally, and then, of course, the program and the school on top of it.
Well, and I think you put your finger right on it. It's an emotional weekend, whether it's excitement, whether it's some of those more sentimental things like your friend you were talking about that used to go with grandparents, or even people that went with parents or best friends or siblings or whatever. It's going to stir up a lot of memories. And I think, what's your take on this? I think it has a chance for some people who suffered through a lot of years, as you pointed out, of not so hot memories, to kind of finally put those away a little bit and focus on something good instead.
The team better win. They better play well if they win. Because the word I would use, it'll be therapeutic in a way for people, especially because they had a great season. And Lane Kiffin did a lot of great things and a lot of winning at Ole Miss. But they get to this peak, right? Getting to the playoff for the first time as a program, winning 11 regular season games for the first time as a program. And the joy of that was robbed by will he, won't he? Will he stay? Will he go? And all of the trolling and all the stuff that came with that. Fans didn't get to enjoy this season the way that they deserved to. And now he's gone, and he's still going to be a conversation piece. He's still going to try to troll, and his online behavior is going to be what it is. And LSU is going to come to Oxford on September 19th next year. And so he's still going to be part of the story. But now that the game is here, it can be about the team again. It can be about the players, and it can be about Ole Miss for the first time in a season that should have been some pretty magical run, and instead it's been clouded. So that's part of it too, especially if the team plays well tomorrow and they win. The therapeutic is going to be the word I'm going to keep using, because you will get to just, okay, that was a lot of fun. I finally get to have fun this season, and I should have the whole time, on top of winning a playoff game for the first time, 12 wins for the first time, all the things that come with what would be a win tomorrow if they can pull it off.
Let me ask you, now that the Lane Kiffin thing is over, were you surprised at all by the amount of shock from people who were excited to hire Lane Kiffin and then at the end found out they had hired Lane Kiffin and he was being Lane Kiffin at the end of his tenure?
So what's interesting about that is, it's who you hire, right? It's what you should expect. When you get a puppy, you should expect it to have accidents in the house. I mean, it's just that is, when you bring in a puppy, you have to train them, and so when they come up short, you can't get mad at the dog for messing in the house, because that's what they do until they learn how not to. I mean, it's like that with Lane Kiffin. You hire him, you get what comes with him. I don't think, though, that anybody would have expected him to leave a playoff team. I mean, there's a difference between, erratic online behavior, being kind of a troll, being odd and unpredictable, and getting to a point that you've never gotten to in your professional career, because he's never coached a playoff game before as a head coach. He's not been to this point. And to leave that and sabotage it, or try to, on his way out the door, what was a new layer to the Lane Kiffin saga or whatever. So, yes, you should have expected weird with him. I don't think anybody in their right mind would have expected a coach to leave an 11-1 SEC team and carry himself the way he did, even a guy with the reputation that he had. And that's why, I mean, other than Mississippi State and LSU fans, nationally, it was universally criticized. I mean, people really were very against his behavior and his move. And based on some things that he said in his press conference and, again, weird online behavior, it sounds like he is surprised by how much blowback he's gotten by making this move. He left a playoff team. That is a thing that happened, and it's hard to wrap your mind around that.
Yeah, it really is. I got to tell you, though, I got to give you just incredible props. That may be the best analogy I've ever heard. Lane Kiffin is a puppy in need of housebreaking. That is dead on perfect, man. That is dead on perfect because it encapsulates the entire problem that we have dealt with this year, especially at the end of the season. Like you said, this has got to be a fairly unprecedented move that he made, isn't it?
Oh, it's without a doubt an unprecedented move. Yeah, it's a very unique thing. And I mean, look, going from Ole Miss to LSU is not a crazy thing, right? That makes sense. It's the way he went about it, because people keep using the analogy of, well, if you got offered more money or a better job, you would take it too. Well, he didn't really get offered more money, number one, but if for whatever reason, let's call it National Fox Sports Radio came and offered me a job on 500 stations for $1 million a year, right? I would not spend the next few days walking around the halls of SuperTalk, Mississippi with my middle fingers in the air. And so there's a way that you can conduct yourself while also making a decision that's best for you and your career and your family and yourself. And those two things did not mix in this case. John Summerall at Tulane. Now, Tulane's not an SEC school. It's a little bit different. But the way he carried himself is a complete black and white comparison to how Kiffin handled it. So you have a side-by-side example of coach of a playoff team involved in multiple other jobs, handling it the right way, not allowing it to infiltrate and distract his team and take away from his program. And at the end of the day, he handled it so well that people at Tulane, even though he's leaving, are they're really happy with the guy and they're satisfied with how he's conducted himself. You can leave a place and do it a certain way, or you can leave a place and try to burn it down on your way out. And we've seen two parallel situations, two different people handling it two different ways.
The word is class, I think. One of those two situations had a lot of class about it. The other one was Lane Kiffin. Can you stick around through the break?
Absolutely, yeah.
We haven't talked much about the actual game. I got you started on Kiffin, and we both just kind of riffed on it for the entire segment. So we'll do that when we come back with Michael Borkey from Sports Talk here on Mornings.
From the Venable Mornings with Richard Cross.
People want to hear the truth, man. That's what we're going to do.
Super Talk, Mississippi.
And drop off the keys, truck's packed up, now it's time to leave. Hit the road and leave this place behind.
Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi. Mornings. Dave Hughes here, Michael Borkey from Sports Talk, Mississippi, broadcasting live again today from Oxford, getting ready for tomorrow's big playoff game. What are we looking at game-wise here, Borkey? The general consensus around the experts and the sports pundits seems to be that Ole Miss is just going to win this. You can never assume that about any game. What are we looking at tomorrow?
Yeah, so it's a 3-score line in this game. But when these two teams met back in September, Ole Miss clearly the dominant team. They won by what felt like 1 billion points. It was 45-3 before a late Tulane touchdown made it a 35-point game. But Tulane's different, and so is Ole Miss since then. Jake Retzloff, Tulane's quarterback, threw 11 straight incomplete passes to start the game. He is not as bad as he looked in Oxford that Saturday. He's a good quarterback. He's capable. He's good with his legs as well. And mobile quarterbacks have given Ole Miss fits this season, really all season, especially, Retzloff is not as athletic as Kamario Taylor, but Mississippi State fans listening will remember Taylor had a lot of success running the football, escaping the pocket, making things happen with his legs. Retzloff is capable of doing similar things. Again, he's not the same athlete as Taylor. He's not the same athlete as Taylon Green from Arkansas, who had success running the football against this Ole Miss defense. But he is athletic, and he is capable, and he's tough. And I promise he won't throw 11 straight incomplete passes to start this game as well. I think Ole Miss is going to get a better shot out of Tulane than they got back in September. But what Tulane is going to have to deal with in this game is that they athletically struggled to match up with Ole Miss's pass catchers, the wide receivers and the tight ends. And you can't fix that in a few months. I mean, Ole Miss has one of the better group of wide receivers in all of college football anyway, and the numbers back that up. And Tulane struggles against the pass just in general. And so that is a really difficult matchup for the Green Wave. Trey Wallace, DeJon Stribling, especially those two, Deuce Alexander, Caden Lee, Daquan Wright at tight end. Those guys are just so physically better than what Tulane presents in the secondary that is where the Green Wave are going to face some real challenges, is trying to stop this Ole Miss passing attack. And I mean, Tulane has kind of struggled against the run. I mean, it's a defense that Ole Miss has that they carved up back in September, and I don't think that they've changed much from then to now. You'll get a better shot from the Green Wave for sure. Retzloff is going to play better, but I think there's just some physical mismatches that you can't fix that Tulane is up against. And so they'll have to play a perfect game, and Ole Miss is going to have to do some shooting of their own feet in order for an upset to happen tomorrow.
Well, that does bring up the point with everything that we were just talking about in the last segment, the whole Kiffin nonsense. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that are floating around that Trinidad Chambliss is considering entering the portal and going somewhere else after this season. That maybe not. Who knows? Who cares at this point?
Yeah, I wouldn't read into the internet rumors on that very much. I don't think he's going to get a waiver anyway. And if he does for an extra year of eligibility, things change in the portal era. Things change a lot. But if he does get that extra year, the betting favorite would be for him to remain at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I would think so. But with all of this going on, and it seems like it's something new every day that everybody tries to get stirred up, it kind of comes back to what you just said about Ole Miss shooting itself in the foot. We can't say there's a 0% chance of that with the situation the team is dealing with, can we?
And they have done a very good job this season of compartmentalizing and overcoming adversity and blocking out the distractions, for sure. It's a veteran football team. That's what's so interesting about Ole Miss is in the portal era, you think there's a total lack of continuity, especially with a team that uses it so heavily. But this one is veteran. I mean, Wallace and Stribling at wide receiver, those are old guys. Daquan Wright at tight end, he's an old guy. Trinidad's an old guy. Both of their tackles are old guys. I mean, on defense, you've got veterans all over the field. I mean, Wydett Williams, this is his first year at Ole Miss, but I mean, he's 22 years old. Sage Ryan's played a ton of college football. Andrew Jones at linebackers played a ton of college football. So it's a very experienced team, and I think that they have been able to overcome a lot of the distractions because they're so filled with old guys for a college team anyway. They just have to protect the football, run the football, don't miss tackles, don't make mistakes, and you win. I mean, it's not any more difficult than that for this team. Totally different conversation if they win and then go to the Sugar Bowl, but for this game, tackle well, don't give up big plays, run the football, protect the football, you're fine.
Michael Borkey, you can hear him this afternoon live from Oxford, assuming he can find parking at this point.
That's why I'm leaving right now, to make sure I can park. So.
Yeah, that's your best shot. 3 o'clock, you get started. Have yourself a wonderful time. It's so far a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be there for this, so I'm a little bit jealous. Yes, have fun, man.
I will. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Well, we are out of time, my friends, but we'll do this again and interview Santa Claus 1 week from today, starting at 6:06 on Mornings, my friend.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.